Right, so we have been to quite a few lectures now. We have learned a few things about Vata, Pitta, and Kapha. These are the different ways that we look at the body in Ayurveda. And so some of us understand that Vata is representing within the body movement, but also dryness and change and transfer of nutrients from here to there. But today we're going to look at it slightly differently, how your nutrients that are moving through your body are affected by the time, the season, and how the plant is grown as well. Pitta, we know, is about the fire and water aspect, and the fire and water aspect affects the body through its secretions, its transformation into what it becomes into the body. And so we also know that you may eat a good food, but whether you absorb it and whether you digest it, all of these things, they affect you differently as well. So we were talking about Pitta, and Pitta has this ability to transform, to move things through your body as well, through the absorption and transformation process of your body. And then we have Kapha. Kapha is the solid structure of the body, the earth and water components of the body. And this is how it becomes your body, how it becomes stability in your body. The food that you eat needs to become something. And what it becomes is looked at as mainly the process of stability of what you have eaten and how it is absorbed in the body. So this Vata, Pitta, Kapha aspect of your food changes according to how you process it. So something might be a superfood for one person, but it may not be a superfood for another person. And this difference is based on their ability to digest it, but also the ability of the plant itself or the food itself to be stable enough to be digested by the person. So there are many factors. It's not as simple as looking at the calorie content or looking at, the vitamins in it or the minerals in it. We also have to look at when it was planted, when it was grown, how it was transported. And woefully, most of us don't know that our food is plucked, packaged, processed way before its ripened date, so that we can have shelf life and so that we have this variety of foods that can come from other countries. Well, when a food is plucked from a plant, it begins the process of degeneration. Now, this process of degeneration has to do with Vata and Pitta. Vata represents the end of anything. It's working, it's racing towards the end of something. Okay? Pitta is the process of making that end happen. So this is why, as long as something is attached to a plant, as long as an animal is alive, if we're going to eat it, it is in its prime state. But the moment it dies, the moment it's plucked, it begins the process of degeneration. So we must understand, for a food to be a superfood, it needs to be super available at the fastest, quickest, freshest moment of consumption for it to be a superfood. So no matter what the book says, this has got this many vitamins and this many minerals, for it to be a vitamin, for it to be a mineral, for it to be bioavailable to your body, it needs this availability to happen quickly and efficiently in your body. The reason why is because the organ that's actually checking the immigration agent in your body is your liver. It's like, do you have permission to come into this body? And if it doesn't have a valid pass to get into your body, it's too old or it's got some kind of chemical on it, your liver, instead of digesting it, begins the process of degenerating it. You see, so you have your own entity in your body that's making its choices independent of our ignorance. So in Ayurveda, we say the first cause of disease is prajna aparada, ignorance of the intelligence. We think that something is good. We're buying this bottled stuff, this sauce, or we're buying this processed food, and we're like, oh, it's going to save me time. I'm getting all my minerals, my vitamins, whatever I need in this one processed food. And your body's having a joke, a laugh at us and saying, I'm just making more stuff to move out of your body. So these are the things that we have to understand when we want to decide what is a superfood and how it can be a superfood that is not independent from the ability of your body to utilize it. Therefore, as a human being, we have to keep our body in a healthy state for it to absorb and make any food into a superfood. This is the miracle of being a human being. You get to decide how it is that you are going to transform what you have available into a superfood. Now, the things that we use to make any food bioavailable to our body and to have it digest better are usually the plants that we have, the leaves that we eat as form of food, or the animals that we are going to eat as form of our food. We've already talked about how in Ayurveda we don't advocate for you to be a vegan, just eat vegetables or just eat raw stuff. Every typical body type has an ability to digest something better than the other person. And this is determined by the color of your lens. We have the pineal body that is crystalline in nature, and it has a varna, a color to it. And of course, I've mentioned before in some of our previous recordings that the colonizers translated that varna, the color, to mean that your profession is based on the color of your skin. They were not entirely wrong, because the color of your skin is determined by the color of your pineal gland. And so naturally the amount of skin tissues that were affected by the transmission of this light into your body depended on the pineal body's function and the color that it was. But that is not really what they were meaning. Varna, the color of that, determines on the lens that you have. So if you wore yellow lenses and you chose to wear pink lenses and you chose to wear green lenses and you all went out together, then your reception of light and the way that you receive the color of the things you viewed would be different, even though you were in the same environment. And based on this color, because color is a spectrum of light, everything is a spectrum of frequency, how your body perceives the frequency of the food you eat, of the environment you are, is going to affect how you digest your food as well. So if you had a lens that was a certain color, then you naturally would be gravitating to certain foods that you wanted to eat. You would be like, I need to eat chicken every day. I can't live without it. Another person would be like, I don't know how you can eat chicken. I can only eat X, Y, and Z vegetables. And yet nowadays we have children that have a certain affinity towards a certain food, a certain texture, and they will only eat that texture and that food. And we're like, I can eat it. Your brother and your sister can eat it. Why can't you eat it? It's because their lens is different. It has been colored, it has been darkened through the chemicals that they eat, through the medicines that we put, the chemicals we put in our bodies. Sometimes our babies are given certain kind of medicines that are going to affect this lens, and then naturally they are not able to absorb or digest anything, because the pineal gland is going to determine whether this food is good for you, this food is poison for you. It's going to send that message to your liver, and your liver is going to perceive a perfectly good food as something that's going to damage your body. So your body, instead of digesting it, starts to degrade it. So here's the fundamental difference in the way Ayurveda looks at your body, looks at your food on an individual basis. So having said this, what are we going to do? The only thing that you really can do, because unless you're growing your own food, you have no control over that food. So what do you have control is what we have to look at. Can you keep that lens, your pituitary gland, working at its optimal level? Can you expose that pituitary gland at the optimal time to the sunlight? Because all light, all life depends on this spectrum of light from the sun. Therefore, in Ayurveda, one of the routines that we advocate is for you to do your massage according to the body type and the oils that we recommend for you to prime the nervous system to receive the spectrum of light and to go out at the time of dawn when that first spectrum of light is going to positively affect your pineal body, and the rest of your day is just following along. So we can do this stuff for our body, but we can also use certain plants that are exposed to the light at the right time of harvesting. Instead of harvesting them, for example, bananas are harvested when they're raw and then they're shipped raw halfway across the world, and wherever they're received, they're stored in a giant warehouse, and when it's time to sell it to the public, they gas it or they spray it with something that will force ripen it. You're changing the chemistry now of that plant. So when we eat it, that same chemistry is going to interact with the body's ability to digest it or not. So your body is like a chemistry professor. It already knows all of this stuff, even though we are unaware of the chemistry of the food. We're blindly believing, oh, this has this vitamin, this has this mineral, this has this amino acid. And so we're eating based on our training by somebody who doesn't understand the spectrum of light and the effect of the chemistry on the body. So as a human being, when you would like to make everything a superfood, you must know the right way to combine foods. And we've talked a little bit at length. There are some foods that we don't combine together. But we must also understand how to make a regular food that has a good long shelf life into a superfood. Some of the foods that can be stored for a long period of time are our spices that are completely whole. For example, if you were to take cardamom, you could use the cardamom, powder it if you needed it at a certain time. And we'll talk a little bit. I'm going to read to you some of the benefits of these foods. You could use it as needed if you kept it in its natural container. But the moment you take that cardamom seed out of its pod and grind it and powder it, it begins the process of degeneration. That is not advertised to you on the packet. But people will say, oh, it has this benefit, it has that benefit. But now it's begun the process of degeneration. So for this reason, cooking is alchemy for longevity. You have to make time. If you want longevity, you have to make time to eat your food in the freshest form that you can. This act itself makes it a superfood. The second act, of course, that it depends on is where was this raised? How was it packaged? How was it processed? Was it irradiated? There is a process that we are totally unaware of. When a food is imported into another country, they put it in a chamber and they irradiate it, and this disturbs then its ability to reproduce. Therefore, if something cannot regenerate or reproduce, your body is not going to use it for a food, it's going to use it to remove it out of the body. So perfectly good food now has become garbage in your body if your food has been treated with sulfites or has been irradiated. So that puts us in a very difficult space. What are we going to eat? And how are we going to be healthy? Because we are blindly trusting people to take care of our bodies because we don't know how to do it. We have outsourced our body to somebody else. And we're just putting filler material as food. So it's a good idea to buy your whole spices. It's a good idea to plant as many things as you can in pots in your garden, depending on where you live. But practically, we can grow all the food that we're going to eat. None of us have the time. And the seeds that we have, as we can see, we have done great amount of gardening ourselves. And it's like taking your money and putting it in the ground to die. So one of the fastest ways to lose your money is to go buy your seeds, and then you have a tomato or a cucumber that costs probably $200, because that's how much money you spend preparing your garden, and you get one tomato or one cucumber or something like that. Some of us are more skilled. We can produce a lot of that, and we know how to change the soil, how to tend it properly, how to look for heirloom seeds, how to look for things that are not genetically modified. As we have spoken before, we should not eat any food that does not reproduce. So if a food comes without a seed, or you have a seed that cannot regenerate, you know it's a garbage food. So no matter what they tell you about its properties, it's invalid. So we have a great amount of learning, studying, absorption, understanding that should come in before we even try to understand which food is medicine and which food is poison. The same food can be medicine for someone, the same food can be poison to somebody else. And a lot of people, you may have heard this being said before, you are what you eat. We are not really what we eat, we are only what we digest. So you may be eating the best food, the freshest cooked food, but if you're unable to digest it because your pineal body is not working correctly, because it's calcified by perhaps all the fluoride that's in your water, your toothpaste, the plastics that are in your environment, you are going to have to clear that out of your system and shine and polish that lens before you can make everything you eat into a superfood. So, in short, we want to eat the freshest bioavailable food that we have around us. And I like to tell you to look within a 10-mile radius, who's growing food? Who are your local farmers? Get to know them so that you can get that stuff directly from them. And depending on your Vata, Pitta, Kapha, and the constitution of your body, and your Vikruti, which is the imbalance of that Vata, Pitta, Kapha, that will determine whether your food is a superfood for you or if it's a poison. So you do want to look at your body, you do want to understand how you can keep your body healthy. An Ayurvedic consultation is a great gift to yourself. Understanding that what Vata, Pitta and Kapha actually are in your food, your environment, in your body is also a great gift to you. And these are all things that everybody should invest their time and their effort into understanding. So study with somebody who you understand, who understands this well, who can explain this to you well. Make it easy for it to be information that you can use at all times, because everything is given to you to be a superfood. And that gift of knowledge is your prime gift. That is the gift every human being is entitled to. So with that, we're going to look at a couple of great foods that we can access in the environment, adding it to the regular foods that you eat in the form of spices, in the form of fresh vegetables that you have. And I have this lovely book over here. I'm going to look at some of these things, and I'm going to share with you today how you can choose to have some of these. And if you want to know more, then definitely we can talk about how that works according to your dosha privately. We can look at that and we can find out. And this is summer season here in Texas right now. We just started it today with the solstice. So I'm going to talk about the fruit of summer. That's a superfood. Anybody want to make a guess? That's not the one today. That's a vegetable, but yes, but that's close. Squash is a good one. What other fruit can we say is a summer fruit, which is a superfood, which looks like the sun, like summer? Watermelon is a good one, but mangoes. They are like the sun. They're like summer. They're juicy. They're yellow like the sun. They're full of delicious flavonoids, everything. So from the Ayurvedic perspective, let's look at the mango. The mango plant is very amazing. It has different names to it. And everybody over here has tasted a mango, I'm guessing. Yes. And mangoes are very, very nutritious, but they're food of the summer. One of the things we have to know about the mango is every plant, including the mango, has a mechanism to protect itself from being eaten. But a mango protects itself very, very well. It has a sap. The moment you touch that sap to any part of your skin, you'll get a blister. Because it's protecting its sweetness from the inside from being eaten by anybody. Its prime focus is to get a seed that can regenerate so it can continue to live in its progeny. So always wash the mango skin properly and thoroughly before you attempt to eat a mango, because you will get big blisters and it will leave marks and keloid for some people. So it's very strong. It can be used as a medicine as well when we want to dissolve a wart or something like that. So I'm going to read you some wonderful things about the mango and the chemical composition of the mango. It's very rich in vitamin A, vitamin B, and vitamin C. And these are vitamins that we need to have in the body. It is a kapha pitta plant, so it can make you fat because it's sweet and juicy and it looks round like a kapha thing. But because it has this property to protect itself, the sap, it's also pitta. And also it stores the entire summer sun inside of it to give you the frequency, the vibration of the healthiest part, the hottest part of the sun into your body. Right? So very important for us to have this. Now, it also has the qualities of being astringent. Astringent means it can draw the fluids out of your body. It also is a diuretic. That's what it does. It takes the fluids, extra fluids, and it's taking the inflammatory fluids. This is why it makes it a superfood. It is not taking your regular fluids that your cells need. It is taking the inflammatory part of the inflammation that's stored in your cells out and eliminating it from your body. So this is why it's a summer fruit, because in summer it's hot. So we need to take this inflammatory process. We've been in the sun too long, we're in front of the computer too long. Whatever's causing us our inflammation, we're just angry, we have an opinion on everybody, that's also creating inflammation in the body. This mango is going to go in and make us happy because it's kapha. It shifts the mind, the thinking process. But at the same time, it's going to draw this inflammatory fluid that you have built up and take it out. Therefore, we should try to eat some mangoes because it's a superfood. Now, there are some things about the mango plant, the tree, the roots, the bark, the trunk, the leaves, the fruit, the flower. Each and every part of this is a superfood. So you may not be able to get a fruit, but you can grow a mango plant in a pot and still benefit from it. In fact, in India, they make a garland of the mango leaves and put it in front of the door. If they have a religious ceremony, they're going to put mango leaves in the copper pot with a coconut, and they're going to also wear it as a garland if they have to, and decorate the place with it. It's purifying through its stoma, through its pores, the entire environment around it. So these are very important things for us to remember. We're not just planting something for the benefit of the fruit. We are sometimes planting certain plant material around us for the benefit of the way that it absorbs and brings the entire cosmos into the environment that we are living in. So a superfood isn't only a superfood because you're eating it. It can be a superfood because it's purifying the environment within which you live. You are digesting this superfood through the pores of your skin. You are digesting it through the vision that your pineal pituitary gland is absorbing through viewing the green color or the plant itself. You are making it a superfood by breathing in the molecules that it has purified around the environment that you're going to sit down in the house and enjoy. The whole plant is at our service. It is not doing any of this to taste the mango for itself. It has no benefit to making a mango sweet because the tree itself is not going to eat that mango. It is us that's going to benefit. So that's a gift to us. Therefore, our gift is to nurture, to look after, and to have a plant like this available to us. So you could easily grow it in a pot, and you could make it shorter, a bonsai, by trimming it and growing it, and you could have the benefit of just having that plant but also having delicious mangoes. You can also graft different kinds of mangoes onto that one mango tree, and you can have variety of mangoes in a little pot, giving you this gift, this energy, this vitamins, and this purification in your own home. So these are things I'd like you to think about. Okay, the ripe fruit will reduce vata and pitta, that's the dryness and the heat in the body, by doing this for us. The flowers, they're cooling. They cause, the body to cool down by removing and cooling down the vata channels. It eradicates vata pitta, urinary inflammation in the body as well. But it also will remove kapha disorders. That means if your body is growing something with a lot of mucus and is storing it in your body, the flowers, you could make a tea out of it. You could just eat it off the tree. These are also going to help you to reduce all three, vata, pitta, and kapha. How amazing is that, right? So this is why it's important for us to grow our food and not just think it's convenient for somebody to ship our food to us, because there is more medicinal benefit from the whole plant. The roots are sour to taste, and it cures watery stool, promotes interest in your brain activity and your intelligence, and it eradicates vata, pitta, and kapha when it's overflowing in your body. The seed is slightly sour in taste, and we use the powder or the fresh seed to cure vomiting in the body when somebody has a lot of vomiting, and we want to purify the acids in the body and shift the intelligence of the body into thinking that everything is poison, and so it's just continuously throwing it up. We will use the fruit of it, the seeds of it, the roots of it, to return this intelligence to the body to say, calm down. So the roots are very, very important for us, and we want to make sure that we use it. We always keep the seed dry in the house, because we could use the powdered seed as a tea if you have chest pain, for example. So I'm going to go through some of the benefits of these, but I want to just tell you what parts we can use of it. And there is an oil that we can make also from the mango seed, and it'll be slightly sour to taste and dry and pungent. And so we use it to cure any kind of mouth disease. We swish it in the mouth to cure any kind of mouth disease. Okay. I'm going to read you some of the benefits. We can use it for hair problems. The oil of the mango seed also is used for premature graying of hair, premature hair follicle degeneration when you lose hair. So it's great for hair problems, dandruff, hair fall. And it's very easy to make an oil. If we should do another class where I can teach you how to make oil out of basically anything that has a medicinal quality to it. So, but just in for your own purpose, if you eat a mango, allow the seed to dry and open it and save the seed. You could also try to grow it in a pot, and it will grow. And if it's not growing, that's not the kind of mango you want in the first place. Yes? And these are great projects to do with kids, by the way. You give them a plant and you have them grow it and nurture it. And then this is interacting with the child's frequencies as well. So this is really great for children that have sensory perception difficulties sometimes. They are better able to communicate with plants and animals than with humans. This is also great for hoarseness of the voice. If you're a singer, if you like to clarify your voice, if you have thyroid problems, if you have too much mucus or too much dryness, you could use it for that as well. The mango leaves is what we use. We take about 40 grams of mango leaves and we boil them in water. And then we add to this honey when it's cooled, and we can drink that as a tea to soothe the throat. And we know this is Vishuddha Chakra. We are taking care of how we express ourselves in the world, but we're also taking care of making sure that we don't have dryness that can cause us to grow any kind of disease. And when we have people that are not able to vocalize themselves, we make them this mango leaf tea, make it delicious, and feed it to those people. For the cough, and we have a lot of environmental toxins that are causing people to have a cough. And so we could take an entire ripe mango and we could bake it, and then we could cool it and then drink that, and we could make cough syrup with that as well. So that is a really nice way to make your own toxic-free cough syrup and make it delicious for the child to have that. So we could definitely do that. There are some people that have enormous thirst when they have a diabetic condition or a compromised pancreas. And if you notice that they're having a lot of thirst, then we could use the kernel of the seed. Even the outside of the seed is important. We could use that outside of the seed and we could boil it, and we could add to that sugar candy or jaggery, and that will help them and that will benefit their pancreas. How amazing is that? No? So you can see how you can make a superfood out of everything. We're just chucking out parts that we think are not useful to us, when everything can be a medicine for you if you understand how to use it correctly. Yes, of course. Yes, we do. Because of these healing qualities, because it decreases vata and pitta. No? And also it's helping the digestive system to utilize the fermented product of the yogurt. Yogurt works very differently from milk. And milk works very differently from butter. And butter works very differently from ghee. All of them are coming from the same thing, but it's how we're using. And cheese and paneer work differently than milk, you see, in the body. Because this is the action of transformation. So when you take something as simple as a food and say, oh, this is it, you're going to use it only for this, it's kind of an insult to that wisdom of that food. Because it is changing in everything that is giving you in different ways. We just have to know how to use it for the purpose that it is created. The plant life, the plant kingdom is super intelligent. Therefore, all plants are superfoods. We just don't know. We call it a weed, right? If you even look at a weed killer, it's actually called a herbicide. It's killing a herb. This is how we've been brainwashed, right? Everything can be your medicine. It's just that we are not educated in the right way how to utilize it. So we'll talk about some weeds, common weeds that we have in our garden that are superfoods as well. Yeah? Hopefully, yes.
So I do have a lot of mangoes over which we import from India. But you mentioned earlier, right? A lot of things would be irradiated.
Yes.
Is that still okay?
This is the reason you have to find out, no, how they are, where they're coming from, and whether it's ripening, whether it's staying green forever. These are the things that you need to pay attention to.
Yeah. No, this one ripened very well.
Yeah, and so that's why I say when you buy a fruit or you buy a vegetable, before you put it in your fridge, wash it, dry it. And there are some fruits and some vegetables that do not belong in the fridge. Some of them do. In the old days, they'd build they'd dig a nice big hole and build a refrigerator by putting a pot, earthenware pot in it. And in that pot, they would put straw or hay. And then they would store their stuff in it. And the wonderful thing about that is because it's the earth, it decides when and how to ripen it based on the amount of light coming into that pot. So if it was in the dark and you covered it, it would stop ripening. If you wanted to expose it, you'd take it out and put it in a bag of rice, or you'd put it in a paper bag or something like that to let in more light. But this is how they keep root vegetables, squashes, a different kind of vegetables for months and months together. Even eggs they would store like that, and they would never, if they had the microbiome film on it, they would last forever. So there are many ways that we have lost how to protect our food, how to preserve our food, which is a class in itself. We should have another class talking about that as well. But we want to make sure that when we have our foods that we import from another country, first of all, we always want to pay attention. How far is this country from where we are? How are they shipping it? And you'll notice some of the mangoes that arrive in your box are green, and some of them are half green, and some of them are almost ripe. So you can see if they packed this box at the place of origin, and they took the care to put the different levels of ripeness together for you, then you probably are guessing correctly that it's not irradiated, because they're ripening at different levels, different times. But if all of them are ripe at one time, or all of them are green at one time, then you have to just observe the ripening process so that you know whether this is worth your time or not. Right? So as a human being, you want to know, I'm going to eat all of these mangoes in a week's time, and I don't want them to get overripe, because then it's starting the degenerative process of it. Then when that food goes in your belly, your liver, instead of sending out the enzymes to digest it, is sending in the enzymes to break it down and eliminate it. That's how intelligent your liver is. It's like another entity in your body. It's making intelligent choices for you that you have no idea. Yeah. So this is why we try to keep the liver clean. This is one reason when you come to see me, I will always, the first thing I do for you is teach you the routines. Then I teach you how to keep your liver clean, because your whole life depends on the intelligence of this one organ. Yes, so we could do this, and we could also use mango leaves for hiccups. People have hiccups. Hiccups is a problem of Udana Vayu. Your diaphragm is spasming. There is a problem with Muladhara that's causing a problem in the diaphragm up here, and so we could use this for that as well. Okay, so hiccups are something that make your life very uncomfortable, and there's no Western medicine really for that. So we could use this, we could try it. Sometimes we could blend mango leaves and coriander leaves, and we could blend this and take it about 2 to 3 times a day if we have unstoppable hiccups. Because coriander or cilantro is also very cooling, and together they make a superfood. You see? So we can use different kinds of vegetables, different kinds of elements that are available in them to help the human body. And if you have a liver that's not working well, then we also can use mango for that. We can use dried leaves and make them into a tea. We could also cook a mango concoction with milk, and we could give it to a client early in the morning if they have severe liver disease. So there are so many day-to-day activities that we can use this food for, but we can also use it as medicine as needed. So always try to get some mango leaves and dry them, air dry them, and then powder them and store them in an airtight jar. You never know when you're going to need this. Keep the tough exterior casing of the mango seed and powder that and store that. Keep the mango seed as well, dry it and powder that and label it and store it, because now you know how to make all of these things into a superfood for when you need it. Mango kernel is also good, like I said, for diarrhea, and you could combine it with different things in your diet. You could cook it with your rice, or you could make a dessert with rice, and you could put the mango dried seed powder with that. If you have a child, how are you going to give it to them? So you could combine it with that as well. There are many recipes over here that I have for diarrhea, but I'm not going to go into that. But sometimes we have diarrhea with bleeding. This is very serious, and we might panic. Don't know what to do with that. And so for here, we take about 25 milliliters of mango leaf extract, and then we mix it with honey and milk. We wait for the milk to cool down, and a little bit of ghee. We have to make sure that we don't have the equal amount of honey and ghee, because equal amount of honey and ghee is dangerous for the body. And we're going to mix this, and we could give it to the person to digest, because they work in different ways. One is working on the aspect of the pitta, the heat in the body, and one is working on the astringency to close the pores that are bleeding internally. You see? So very, very important for us to know that the plant itself has an intelligence that is going to apply to the condition within your body. One is going to close it and astringent it, and the other one is going to bring the heat down, and one is going to calm the body down and make it nice and safe to stop the diarrhea. It's a peacemaker in your body. So for children also, you can use the kernel of the mango seed and the powder, and you could sweeten it for them and give it to them with a little bit of honey twice a day, and this can also help effectively stop the diarrhea. Diarrhea means your body is trying to move a toxin out, or it's got a lot of heat and it's trying to move the heat out. So you have to be mindful that we don't want to just stop the diarrhea by giving it a pill. We want to stop the condition for which it's creating the diarrhea. So now we have an effective medicine over here, a form of food that is acting on behalf of the body, not just brutally stopping it and allowing that toxin to stay in. Yes?
It's counterintuitive
Yes.
to give mango a person
Correct.
when they have diarrhea.
Correct. Yes.
Like that, how
Yes, yes. Yes, it's the properties that we are unaware of. We're uneducated about the many benefits. We just look at food as something to fill the body, but it's so sacred. Everything you put in your mouth is becoming you. It is a sacrament between the divine, the cosmos, and you. It's going to mass. That's why we're eating, we're breaking bread. It's our visit to the temple, the synagogue. When we're bringing food, we're bringing the divine into the temple of the body, right? And we're so ignorant. We just look at it as, oh, it's lunchtime, it's breakfast time. If I don't eat, I'm going to feel this way. It's an obligation. It's not a sacrament anymore. There's a huge difference in celebrating your food rather than saying making time because it's an inconvenience because you have a job to do. It's so counterintuitive. If you understand that your food is what is literally bringing the whole cosmos into your body in a delicious form. So beautiful. Colitis. How many of us have had babies, young children, adults that have colitis? Itis is telling us automatically that's inflammation. Right? Itis. Anything itis is pitta. So here we use the juice of fresh mango in small amounts. We can take juices. We always use juices as medicine if it's fresh. And this is also counterintuitive, but we mix it with sweet curd and we give it with 1 teaspoon of dry ginger powder. And it tastes really nice. In my culture, they would make something called Srikhand with mango. It was so yummy. And in the summer season, they would give it to us, and this is how it's made. These are the ingredients, right? So it keeps your body nice and healthy. So we could feed this to a child and they would eat it really well. We also call this amra pulp. The pulp of the mango is really delicious for the body, and sometimes we would just mix it with a little bit of ginger because ginger helps you to digest your food, and it also helps you to digest the mango because your body is occupied in whatever it's experiencing as colitis right now. So it's a peace offering. So we will mix it with this, yeah? Now, for pregnant women, when pregnant women have diarrhea, how are you going to give them a medicine that can affect the fetus? This is when we will use mango in that case. And we can take the powder of the the mango seed and the kernel together. And again, we could mix it with a little bit of honey. And local honey is good, and you have to be careful that some people sell you local honey, which is just sugar syrup. And so you do your own research for that with water. And so you could give that to them before their meals 2 or 3 times a day. When does a pregnant woman have diarrhea? When she has too much pitta, she has too much vata, too much fear, too much anger, too much insecurity. These are things that can happen, but she could also have an outside infection, eating something or being in an environment that has caused her to have this. So you want something mild and delicious and kind and gentle to calm the body down. You see how we can use this for that? Also, there's a disease called cholera. Anybody heard of this disease, cholera? It's very dangerous. It has wiped out entire populations of people. And again, we can use mango for this. So in the early stages of the illness, they can take the mango leaves and crush them and make a decoction with just water. How amazing is that? It will get rid of the condition for which you are suffering. Yeah, it's so easy to do. And you could drink this solution every morning if you have diabetes. It's going to help your pancreas by changing the chemistry from the liver. Very amazing. Sometimes we have abdominal pain after eating because we've eaten too fast, or we're standing and eating, which we should never do, standing and eating, and we always should make some time to receive our meals as a gift to us. But in case we have this abdominal pain, sometimes children will have it because they're very nervous in school, or they've had an experience that they are not able to understand. So we could do this for them before they go to school at 8 a.m. in the morning, and 4 p.m. after they get back home from school. We could give them a ripe mango. In India, we would squeeze the mangoes after washing them and just let them suck it right out of the mango. This used to be a snack after you came from school or before you went to school. So you already have the juice in the mango itself, and you can give that to them. And so this is really nice for them. And sometimes people would give their child a little bit of warm milk to drink after they had a super ripe mango. Now, we never will do this with a raw mango, because the properties of a raw mango are completely different from a ripe mango. So, and you never want to mix a sour raw mango with milk, ever. Okay? Just like I said, milk has different properties in the conditions that it presents itself. It also has different conditions in how it's combined. So there's a lot of chemistry over here in this. So we could definitely do this, and anytime you eat a mango, or you drink the mango pulp or the juice, you need to wait for some time before you drink water after it. Now, if your mango is mixed with water and you imbibe it at the same time, it has a totally different effect than drinking water after it. That can sour your throat, and you can make more phlegm just by the time of drinking the two ingredients that are together. So when somebody says, oh, what's the difference? I'm going to eat all of these things, they're going to get mixed in the stomach. There is a difference between the time and the secretion of the enzymes that you make and how your body is going to utilize it. Just like if your boss gives you work to do and there just keeps piling work on you, you're going to have, work indigestion. You can have the same thing happen to you with the foods that you eat, just piling them one on top of the other. So there is a certain knowledge to having that as well, okay? And so you can see these results if you have children by keeping these foods ready for them, so you can give it to them and just not eat or drink anything after that. There are other uses of the mango, and we're going to look at some of these things for you. I'm going to read this. Or do you want me to go to the next one? Because there's so many benefits of mango. I'm going to just read a few of them for you, okay? There is a whole lot of other uses for it. Nasal bleeding, if you have nasal bleeding, you can use it for that. I'm not going to go into the whole detail, but you can always find me and ask me when you have this. We can also use it, for soothing the thirst, like I said before that. You can use a powder, you can use a full mango, you can use a seed, you can make a mango tea also with the leaves, with the fruit as well if you wanted to, by cooking it. And you can also use mango for syphilis, treating syphilis, which is a sexually transmitted disease. And so you could make a concoction with the juice, the bark, and goat milk every morning for 7 days. Amazing. Some people have vaginal disorders, and for some of those vaginal disorders, we could grind the flowers, the bark, and the leaves of the mango tree in water and apply this paste to the vaginal area. It also helps with having vaginal odor. Sometimes some women will suffer with more vaginal odor. We should have a certain kind of pH balance over there that doesn't cause this excessive odor. But sometimes if you're very pitta or we're very stressed, then we can make more of the yeast that grows there, and then you can have this odor that comes from this. So this is really good for that as well. If we have pain in the testicles, sometimes we have swelling in the testicles or a testicle torsion, so we can use it for that as well. We take a part of the mango stem, which has the knots in it, and we grind it with cow's urine. In India, we use the entire contribution from the cow, the milk, the urine, cow patties. We use it for growing, we use it for medicine, but cow urine is very, very pure because it has 4 compartments to its stomach to filter everything. So its urine is very, very pure and helps the body. So we're using the cow's urine, and we make a paste of this and apply it to the testicles if we have pain in the testicles. We also have a disease, a digestive disease or an eating disease, bulimia nervosa. And for that, we can take the juice of sweet mangoes and mix it with ghee and a little bit of sugar, and we grind them all, and we take this mixture for 15 days. It helps in curing this condition. It is saving you money from sending somebody for psychiatric. Yeah, and it's delicious, and it's a small amount, so they are not going to reject it, because here we are bullying them, and it's a nervous disease. And it's not that they can logically work themselves out of it. So we got to help them with this, right? So this is just an example. There's another STD, gonorrhea, and other urinary diseases that have an effect on the body and are treated by this. We can use the fresh bark and grind it and soak it in water overnight. The next morning, we crush the bark and strain the solution and drink it. And this can give us a good result in about 7 days. We could also shade dry the leaf, and we could use that. Soak it in water in the morning and the evening, and it helps to control this illness. We could also extract fresh bark and mix it with 6 grams of food lime solution, lime for pickling that we use, and give this solution to the patient, to the condition, for the condition to drink it immediately, as it is beneficial in this condition and for urinary disorders. So amazing. Yeah. We could use it for metorrhagia and piles and hemorrhoids as well. This is too much of bleeding and all of this stuff that's happening. We would use the extract of the bark and give it to the person twice a day. It helps in controlling the blood flow due to this heaviness, this heat in the body. And some people have bleeding diastasis as well, piles, hemorrhoids. All of these people can enjoy this benefit. You could also use the powder of the seed for the same condition by giving it to them twice a day. Intestinal worms. Almost everybody who's stressed out in their life has intestinal worms. Before you get a growth in the body like a tumor, it is usually the body trying to isolate some kind of helminthic activity, worm activity in the body. And very often, if we will use this, we can also deworm the body with the powder of the unripe mango seed. Has to be unripe in this case. Right? And so what we would do is we would mix this dried unripe mango seed with yogurt and water in the morning, and then we would drink it like a lassi, like, what do we call it? We call it chas, like a buttermilk. So it's watered down yogurt, it's not solid. It's very easy to do, right? And just for simple body health and vitality, every morning when it's in season, we recommend that you wash it and you squeeze it and then you suck the juice of the mango out of the mango. So this rejuvenates your body as well. We could also cook an absolutely ripe mango pulp with a little bit of ginger and milk, and we could use that as a rejuvenation instead of having a protein shake in the morning.
And then you say we shouldn't do it with milk? We shouldn't mix it
If it's ripe. If it's not ripe, we cannot mix it with milk. Yeah, that's why we can use mango as a lassi, because it's a ripe mango that they use.
The last is the yogurt.
Yogurt, yes, yes, you can. And so we could definitely use this as well. For eczema, itching, we could also use this. We could use the unripe mangoes and extract the juice of that and strain the juice and add to that a little bit of local wine or a grain spirit. And then you could apply that to the body and it will help the eczema as well. Rosacea is a different condition altogether, and we'll have a look and see whether it can be used for rosacea. But rosacea is a condition of your adrenaline glands being overworked, and this is usually happening at the time of menopause, because that's when the adrenal glands are now taking the responsibility for your hormonal imbalance as well. So again, it's got to do with the adrenal glands and the liver. But we'll look and see whether that has it for that as well. So there are many, benefits for eczema and itching over here. And also we could use it for sunstroke. In the summers, due to too much of heat, we could definitely use it. Sometimes children will get these little boils on their skin, and this interruption of sweating, the sweat glands are blocked. We could use it for that as well. Many things. For burns, we could make a paste of the seed of the kernel and apply that to the burned areas, and that provides immediate relief and prevents blistering. So this is really cool to know how we can use it. We can also use it for spider bites. Because Texas, we have a lot of spiders over here, and you want to be careful of it. So what we would do is we'd apply the paste of the mango seed or the dried mango powder with a little bit of water and just apply it directly to the space that was inflamed. So this is why it's good to have this in your house, because you have it for so many remedies. Yeah, and so these are things that you could, in the old days, they would just find the mango seeds lying around and they would just take it out and use it immediately. But we could be proactive and we could have some of this. There are some cautions as well, okay? And we must know about the cautions. Eating unripe mangoes in excess can lead to problems like loss of appetite, chronic fever, blood disorders, constipation, and eye disorders. Why? Because too much sour affects the liver. And all of these conditions are related to your liver. No? After eating mangoes, if you encounter any digestive related problems, then they make a suggestion to have 2 or 3 black plums, and this changes the chemistry instantly. And plums grow over here and are available very easily. But in case black plums are not available, a pinch of salt with ginger root powder also will help you. And people that have a very sick liver or liver disease that is not being treated and maintained also have to limit the amount of mangoes they eat, because it can heat the body up too much. So these are the things that we can do, with mangoes. And also one more caution is mentioned is not to drink water immediately after eating mangoes. And the same logic, as I said, you can blend it together, but if you eat your mango and you wait 5 minutes and then you drink milk, you will also have a problem, because now there is a difference in the digestive timing and the enzymes that are secreted by separating these two things.
But this is with any fruit too, right?
This is with any fruit, but especially with the mango, because mango is very powerful. It's a superfood after all. It's going to work like
Immediately.
immediately. Your body has this affinity for it. It's like, bring it in, give it to me. I want it now. I'm going to stop everything else. And that's what makes it a superfood. It puts aside everything else that's happening and is spending time with us. Yeah. Was that good? How much time do we have? Am I out of time already? Pretty much. Can I just spend a little bit more time? I'm going to take you out and show you some more things. We have a cinnamon tree. I'm just going to, do you mind if I go over a little bit? I want to tell you the benefits of a cinnamon tree. We have the cinnamon tree outside. We have mango trees as well. And in the Indian culture, we use the leaves of the cinnamon tree. We call it tej patta or bay leaf. It's very different from the bay leaf of the bay laurel, which is also you can use. If you use the bay leaf to cook your animal's food, your animal will be healthy. If you use the bay laurel, your animal will have a problem because it has eugenol in it that are not good for the liver of the animal. But the bay leaf has got 3 stems that come down from it, and it's very medicinal. So I'm going to read for you some of the benefits of cinnamon, and then we'll wind up a little bit from that if we like, okay? Unless you have some, we'll go to questions. So the bay leaf, like I said, is actually a cinnamon tree, and we use a sharp instrument to shave off a part of the bark, and then it curls and becomes cinnamon stick, right? And we have a giant one right outside the back door over here, so it's really amazing. And the leaves are very, very beneficial for digestion as well. But they're also good for tooth pain. So if you have a tooth that's giving you a problem, you could use cinnamon oil, or you could cook your bay leaves. You could brush your teeth with a twig of a bay leaf tree, and that will act as a floss for you, and it will bring your gums into a state of health and reduce the inflammation for that. You could also combine it with a bunch of cloves and ginger root and boil it and make a tea and reduce it and strain that solution. And this solution we can use for flu, influenza, any flu that you have. You can make this as a medicine for yourself. If you have deafness, then we could use that as well. 2 drops of this oil from this plant in the ears, and it cures deafness. Now, this is depending on whether you've had an injury or it's a natural degradation of the ear, right? So it's great for the eyes as well. Cinnamon oil helps the flickering of the eye, but you have to be very careful because you got to keep your eyes closed for a little while because it's a little bit potent. How they're extracting the oil, what is the carrier oil? That is important. If they're using the carrier oil of sesame seed, you cannot put it in your eyes. If they're using coconut, if they're using almond oil, you can use it in the eyes. Okay? So very important for us. For the cough conditions that we experience, we can give 1 teaspoon of this powder of the bark with honey every morning and evening, and it helps with cough. Chronic cough, rhinitis, when we have allergies and the nose is just running, we could also use it with warm honey 3 times a day. For headaches, we could use the leaves of this plant. We could make a paste and we could apply it for the forehead, on the forehead for a headache. Also, if we have excessive cold and heat, we could also use it for that, and we could wash off this paste when we needed it. We could again use this for hiccups, for tuberculosis. We would give a little quantity of the cinnamon oil, and tuberculosis also is caused by what we call krumi, and the closest translation to that would be worms or some kind of entity in the body. So we should have some of this at home. Labor pains, if somebody is in labor and is causing great fatigue to the muscles during labor, we could definitely do this with a little bit of the root of another tree. We call it a people tree. And so that would help them greatly with that as well. Osteoarthritis, we could use this, or cinnamon powder, form a paste, and we could massage this, or we could take it with 1 cup of water if I wanted to. Bleeding, anybody that has bleeding, cinnamon stops bleeding right away. Take the cinnamon powder and put it on that. I like to make a concoction of cinnamon powder and turmeric powder and mix it with a little bit of honey and put it on an open wound and just hold it close for a little while, and it will seal without a scar. Very, very amazing. And so you could definitely use that as well. Cholesterol, when somebody has a lot of cholesterol, they could use the leaf and the bark of this to help that. In fact, whenever we cook a kapha food is something that transforms into sugar really quickly. Rice, as an example, we always cook it with bay leaf in it. And sometimes we'll also put cinnamon stick in it. No? So it makes it tasty, but it also helps with that. When somebody has depression, or somebody has a lot of stress because of their job or whatever the reason is, we will make them a bay leaf tea and give it to them, and that also calms them down. But you could dry the bay leaves and just put it in a safe container and incinerate it, like saging the house, but with bay leaf. So that's really good, and they could inhale that. It's also great for stomach disorders and skin problems, for fevers. And the adverse effects are, if you have excessive intake of it, it may cause a headache. So don't take too much of cinnamon at any time. It's also an alternative, so it brings down the heat and fevers in the body. So if you have a child that has a lot of fever, and you are adverse to giving it a certain kind of medication because it will disrupt the microbiome in the digestive system, you could make a bay leaf tea, make it nice and strong, sweeten it, make it delicious, and have them sip on that. Do you have any questions for me? I mean, I have so many things. We should spend a whole day learning this stuff, really. There are so many weeds in here that are so super medicinal that at some point of time I'd love to share it with you. Like, we have this weed that's called plantain weed, and it's a miraculous plant. It's also a superfood, so look for it at least and study about it. It has great properties for lubricating the body, for your digestive system, and they sell it to you as isabgol, and that's something that you should never spray any herbicide on the plantain plant that grows in your garden. It's very important. Spring is the time. It brings it all out, so the heat of summer and the stickiness of winter can come out, so you could use it at that time. I have great information about carrots as well, and we won't go into that today. But for now, we will just leave it at that and open to any questions that you might have. Yes.
So like you're saying, going in the summer, we have the heat, right? And menopause on top of it and everything like this. So what are some things we can do to cool down?
Food-wise, or you're talking otherwise?
Or, yeah.
So one of the superfoods for cooling the body down is sugarcane. So if you have real sugarcane or sugarcane juice, it's great. Or jaggery. Jaggery is made out of the juice of sugarcane that's cooked down, but you have to find the right kind which doesn't have any chemicals in it. All of this stuff, nice for soft. It's like molasses, soft and delicious and nice. That's great for that. But sugarcane juice, freshly pressed sugarcane juice with a little bit of ginger and lemon is really good to cool the body down. All menopausal women should find a source of this, and it's really great for your iron content as well. The canes, yes. You could get the canes of sugarcane at a Latin American market, food market. Sometimes even the local markets will carry them. You just wash it, scrape it out, and split it, and then just chew on it. If you have a good blender, you could blend it with a wedge of lemon and ginger. Correct, you could definitely do that. So you could definitely use that as well. And you don't need more than 4 ounces or 6 ounces. That's the maximum. Anything more than that will overwhelm your digestive system. Okay, so we use juices as medicine, but in this quantity, never more than 6 ounces at a time. Other things that can cool you down, which is a superfood, is cilantro. Is one of the most underutilized medicines on the planet. Making a chutney, which is a paste, a mixture, blending it with cilantro and 2 bundles of cilantro with some mint, some green chilies in it, a piece of ginger in it, some jaggery in it, the juice of 1 lemon, and coconut. And coconut, grated coconut. If you don't have grated coconut, you can use jicama, which is a round root vegetable. And you blend this whole thing and you could enjoy that. It's really yummy. You could have it as a dip. You could put it on your bread. And it's really very, very nutritious. This is how women in India will usually have idli, dosa served with this concoction, and this helps them balance their hormones a little bit better because it's cooling. It's helping your adrenal glands. I don't recommend yogurt. Yogurt has got live culture in it, so it increases the pitta. But we can utilize it to cool the body by taking 1 tablespoon of yogurt, freshly made yogurt, because if yogurt is more than a day old, it becomes very pitta, aggravating. And we know that the stores that have the yogurt, to make yogurt is very easy. You take a spoon of yogurt and mix it in full fat, whole milk, warm milk, stir it in, whip it nicely in, put it in a warm space. I like to switch my oven on, switch it off at 180. So it's just getting warm. And just put it in the oven overnight. And the next morning you have this delicious yogurt and you eat it for the day. You could make a cup for you. But what you're going to do is you're going to take a spoon of this yogurt, put it into your blender. And in the summer season, we don't actually advocate cold things in Ayurveda, but when you have menopause and you're overheated, we want to quickly bring down the body. We put some chips of ice in it and we blend it with something sweet. Usually it will be maple syrup, sugar, good sugar, or jaggery, a little bit of salt, and we'll blend it together with a little bit of black pepper in it. Some people will chop green chilies and fresh cilantro and sprinkle on it. They will also take cumin seed and dry roast it, crush it and sprinkle it on it. So it makes all the enzymes that you need for your pre and probiotics, and this can cool your body, and you would have it away from your meals in the afternoon. So that's when you would use yogurt in that way to cool the body. It's kind of washed out yogurt. And I know in the present day, we put it in the blender, which has got steel blades in it. Stainless steel increases pitta. This is why in the old days they would have a wooden dowel that was shaped like a flower with a little handle to it, and they would spin it like this. And that wood is grounding. It would ground the whole thing and cool it. But when we spin it in one of our blenders, it's increasing the potential of pitta. So you can see the food is the same, the spinning is the same, but the object of it has been altered now by what we're using to process it. So everything, water carries a memory. You have to remember this. Water carries a memory, and it carries a memory of everything it touches. So it's like digesting stainless steel in your body now that it's touched stainless steel. Okay? So I say, we are so uninformed about everything in life. We feel everything is made for us, so we just access it and just use it without any intelligence. There's no reverence. There's no respect for our food. So we have to change the way that we approach our food. Watermelons are great, and I'm so glad you brought this question up. Watermelons grow in a desert environment. Literally, it brings the water into the watermelon from the heat outside, so it can be an antidote to the heat when you take it inside. Watermelon should never ever be eaten without seeds. A watermelon that's grown without seeds will destroy your body. There's lots of vitamins and minerals in the seeds. In fact, I will look for the seeds and eat the seeds with the watermelon when I'm eating it. I will not even feed my cows a watermelon which doesn't have seeds. You go to the store, ask them, please, can you carry food with seeds. I do not want to eat a watermelon without seeds. Everybody should ask. If you don't ask, they'll continue to give us food that's not food. It's food-like substances. But yes, watermelon has to be eaten only by itself. It can never be combined with another melon, another fruit, another food. Just watermelon. You may put a little bit of Celtic salt on it. If you like, you may put a little bit of cayenne pepper on it. This will help your amino acids form properly in your body, your electrolytes to be balanced in your body. But never ever combine it after eating a burger like we do on the 4th of July and eat your watermelon with it. No, please don't do that. Eat it just by itself. Because it takes different enzymes and time to digest in your body. Every melon works on your plasma instantly. While as other foods, they need time to be processed, to be broken down, to be digested within the stomach. A watermelon has a different speed and ability. Yes, it is immediately working on the plasma of the body. Depending on your vata, pitta, kapha content in your body, how much water do you have as a human being in your body, it's going to affect you that way. You're going to poison your whole body instantaneously by combining it. You can have a cooler watermelon if you like. It's going to cool you in any case. But yes, in the summer, in the heat of Texas, we're allowed to have a little bit of cooling. It's allowed. Just you don't want to freeze your watermelon and put it in your mouth. And you don't want to put watermelon in water. Another melon that comes to mind is a cucumber. You never combine a melon with water. You see, it's very popular here. They'll put slices of... It's very, very bad. It will cause your cells to swell internally. You can drown yourself with too much of water in your cells. There's a cellular drowning that happens. And this is when you mix a melon with water. Yeah. Yes. No, just drink your water as water. It's such a pure, essential requirement for life. And we are being brainwashed into combining it with some chemical, some color, some fruit, as if it's an inconvenience to have water. If you think water is an inconvenience, you know the person that doesn't like it is rejecting their body. They're rejecting life itself. Why? Water has a memory. You putting something else in it and hijacking its memory, it can't work in your body anymore. This vitamin water, water in plastics, garbage, total garbage. Don't fall for that. Drink it in glassware, drink it in earthenware, drink it in stainless steel if you have to, if your pitta's high. I don't advocate stainless steel container for you. Glass is better, silica is more earth-like, but copper is great. So. Coconut water is very amazing. It's a superfood because it's like your plasma. In the world wars, when they had that and before they had IV solutions, they would use coconut water and give you an IV of that. So coconut water is really amazing and it has zero fat in it. It's really amazing for when you're doing your liver and gallbladder flush. Yeah, coconut is a superfood as well. It's very cooling to the body. It's very protective. Just like you look at the fruit of the coconut, it's got the external kernel. Everything about the coconut tree is also used as medicine. And one of the descriptions of wealth down south would be, how many coconut trees do you have before I marry my child to you? So it's very important to have coconut trees growing because you can use the fronds, the leaves of it, you can use the bark, the trunk, the sap of it, the flowers of it. You could also ferment it. There are so many things that you could do with a coconut, but it's one of those very versatile foods that you should also have in your diet. It's a superfood.
So if it's superfood, then all doshas would be fine?
Yes, and it depends also. A superfood can also be poison if your dosha is not fine. Right, if you can't digest it, it becomes a poison. So if your digestion is not working, our first job is to make the digestion work. Because that's determining whether something becomes a superfood in your body or not, by its ability to digest and absorb it. Which is why I said in the beginning, we are not what we eat, we are what we digest.
So that if you know you have inflammation, you have to tackle what.
Correct. You deal with that inflammation. That's what you want to deal with. Forget about the title that they give you, because all inflammation is going to lead to some disease. If it's in your knee, you'll have some itis of the knee, tendonitis, arthritis, one of these things. If it's in a form of a cancer, also it's an inflammation, right? It's your pitta. If it's in a blood-borne disease, it's also inflammation. Any helmintic, any worm, any pathogen that can grow in your body is only growing for the basis of inflammation. It needs inflammation to grow. It cannot thrive and take over your body, hijack your body in the space of healthy body tissue. So this is why we must take care of any inflammation before we can be healthy. I mean, you can take the best medicine, but if you don't take care of the cause of that, you're just throwing your hard-earned money. And money is not just paper. It is an equivalent of the time of life you have sacrificed for that small piece of paper. You're double throwing your life out. Your real currency is your health. So we must use our food as our medicine, and we must use our digestion as the apparatus that's going to bring that in. Your digestion, your absorption, that is the real currency.
Like for us, taking on the legumes and eating a lot more of that, is making a difference, right?
For some people, they can use legumes, but you have to always soak it, and you have to give it time to release its chemistry. That, again, just like a mango has protective enzymes, legumes can also destroy your body. So it can be a superfood because it's higher in protein than even any of the meats that you eat. Certain legumes are super high. But some people don't have the pineal color, the lens, to digest it. Some people have it. So this is why some people can thrive being vegetarians. Yes. Yes.
My question was, for the summer, is there any precaution or observation in eating a lot of legumes?
Yes, definitely, because some, if you have a pitta inflammatory response, you would avoid the pink masoor dal, which is a legume. You would also avoid the red kidney beans, for example. There are certain kind of foods, even though they are legumes and beans, that are inflammatory in nature, especially for pitta imbalanced people. So if you have a pitta imbalance, we may think, going vegetarian and eating beans only is going to be a good way. But unless you deal with that inflammation first, your body will reject the natural heat of the bean itself. Like there's black gram, which is very powerful medicine, but if somebody has certain conditions, or we can't eat black gram in the evening versus the morning, there are these conditions as well that apply to certain legumes. Yeah. Yes, kanji is very good. Kanji, or congee as the Chinese call it, is where they boil rice. They wash the rice and they boil it in a larger quantity of water. And then they discard the rice usually, and they drink the starch from the rice. In that rice, they put cumin seed, they put a little bit of ginger, and they put a little bit of crystal salt in it. And then this acts as a replacement for your electrolytes. When you're sick and your body is weak, we're allowing the body to get the nutrition it needs to stay alive and have time to take care of the disease, because this is pre-digested, it's cooked for a long period of time. And there are certain people that instead of the congee, we use goat meat. We cook it for a long period of time, and we get the juice out of the bone marrow, and again we put the same spices that we would in the congee in it, and we cook it for a long period of time, and we discard the meat completely. Nobody eats the meat. They have got all the the nutrition from the meat as a clear soup, and they will drink that. So again, that depends on your vata, pitta, kapha, your culture that you're grown up in, but it's used for the same reason. Is it's so pre-digested that you have just the nutrition that's in its elemental form for your body, and your liver doesn't have to break it down and cook it and extract it and separate it and then give it to you. So we're saving the liver time to heal the body.
So that you touched on. So is there a particular body type like this?
For kanji, most people can have it across the board, whether you're vegetarian, non-vegetarian, whether you're vata, pitta, or kapha. If you have a kapha body type and you have a kapha disease, however, we will add green chilies to it.
So that's what I've seen overnight. A little bit of green chili.
Yes.
1 spoon of yogurt.
Yes.
Fermented.
Yes.
I've seen it
Yes.
all over the
Yes.
social media now.
Yes. But it has to be in an earthen pot.
Yeah.
And also there's curry leaves. We have a lot growing here. Curry leaves are a miracle plant. I was going to touch on it today, but everybody should grow a curry plant, and it should be in every food that you cook. The first thing that you're cooking in your ghee should be your curry leaf and your panchapuran, which are seeds, 5 seeds. And then you can add anything you like to it, because it's good for your hair. That means it's good for your bone tissue, good for your reproductive, good for your brain cognition. If you have somebody that cannot study well, or somebody that cannot concentrate well or interpret well, they definitely need this. This is one reason why Indians are considered super brilliant, because 90% or 98% of all Indian households will use this every day. Every day. It just makes your brain into a supercomputer. Moringa is another superfood. It's got a lot of calcium in it, in its leaves, in its bark, in its roots, in its fruits. But I do not advocate people having moringa leaf because it's superheating. Only a kapha person with a kapha problem can have the moringa leaf. You cannot have moringa leaf if you are a pitta person with a pitta problem, or a vata pitta person with a vata pitta problem. But you can definitely have the fruit of it, the flowers of it. Amazing medicine, amazing medicine. Well, vata people, we want anything that's mucilaginous, like this, the fruit of the moringa. You could make a soup with it. And you could even blend it for people that have a textural condition and they don't like the texture, don't want to chew it. But it's really good for them. Any root vegetables for vata people, cooked seasonal vegetables are great. For vata people, you want something that's got a little more starch, a little more sweetness, a little more heaviness. Ghee. A vata person must have ghee in their food for sure. No seed oils. A lot of people think that seed oils are healthy, but a seed that is squeezed and crushed to extract the oil is going to get rancid. Rancidity increases your inflammation, your pitta. To disguise that, they put something that's made out of the residual remains of antifreeze. Do your studies, study about these things. They don't advertise it. You have to look for it. No seed oil is good for you. No seed oil is good for you. Even if you have olive oil, it has to be crushed and used immediately before it goes rancid. The first press. By the time we get the first press of olive oil, it's been on the ship for 6 months, or it's been in a storehouse for 5 years, or for 1 month, or whatever the duration is, and then we're getting it.
If they don't have it, like all these products that there's a thing that they collect from all these countries.
That's the other issue.
And they give you olive oil in a bottle, olive oil, but it's something else.
The other issue is if you read the label on your olive oil bottle and it says a product of several countries, that's just the garbage. They've discarded the 3rd press, the 4th press. They send you that cake, and out of that cake you're going to get that olive oil. Yeah. Read it. It's not for the consumer's benefit, it is for the seller's benefit. So these are the things that you want to, if somebody who's pressing it, the oil, and shipping it to you right away, that's a totally different ball game altogether. Olive oil is so nutritious, but it has to be processed. Sesame oil, so nutritious, but 95% of us cannot consume sesame oil. We can apply it to the body. It's digested through the skin. We can rinse with it. It's absorbed through the gum line and the teeth. It calcifies, strengthens your teeth, but we can't eat it. It's very difficult for us to digest sesame oil. We could digest sesame seeds, which is a totally different game. Tahini, different than sesame oil. And it's only when we're eating excessive sweet and sticky and gooey things that they will fry it in sesame oil. Like the Chinese have some really yummy desserts. The Bengalis in India, they have some yummy desserts. If it's the middle of winter, they'll use that. But we will definitely, most of us are not equipped to digest a sesame oil.
Anything fried, you have to use ghee?
I would like for people to use more ghee. One, it doesn't spoil ever, it doesn't go rancid until you put a spoon in it that's wet, or anything else that's wet. You don't want moisture in it. Two, it's got your vitamin D, vitamin E, vitamin A, vitamin K2, your omega-3 and 12 fatty acids. This is what you need for your brain to thrive, for your nervous system to thrive. Ideally, it's made with cultured butter, so it has its pre and probiotics in it as well. That's how usually it's made. And ideally, it's made with grass-fed milk and butter. So these are the kind of things that you want to look for, and that's better for everybody who has a brain. And it doesn't affect lactose intolerant people at all. In fact, lactose intolerant people have inflammation. So instead of eliminating your foods, you want to take away the source of inflammation. So you need somebody to guide you for that. You need an Ayurvedic doctor. A lecture like this is not sufficient for you to make that choice. You do need some supervision. You do need somebody to observe you who knows how to do these things. So I am saying these things to you, but I also want to add that this is general wisdom that I'm sharing with you. It needs to be fine-tuned to the condition of the person who is going to observe and utilize this information.